Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Texas Brat number one. And Deputy Sheriff number two. And I believe it's Canadian Cookie number three. There you go. Looking beyond your number four tonight, sweetie. God bless. Much love. Okay. How you doing, Kathy? Pam, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Good to see you guys. How you doing, Justin? Holy moly. Okay. It's good to see everybody in here tonight. Love a Scorpion. Hi, PG. Summer's channel. Amen. Absolutely. That's so true, Ronald. So true. We are Team Summer. Absolutely. I'm coming in tonight because it is 23 months into it. As of next month, June 15th, 2023 will be 2 years. 2 years. Summer's gone, but she definitely is not forgotten. We have to ask ourselves, why no answers, right? Why no answers? Why has law enforcement not came back out to update everyone on Summer's case? What exactly are they doing, right? What are they doing besides sleeping on the job? That's what I'd like to know. What are they doing? Sounds like they're just laid back waiting for it to come to them. I don't know. I thought law enforcement is supposed to get off their ass, get out there and get it done. It doesn't just walk in the door. No, absolutely not. If you're not out there, you're not going to find out what happened, right? You ain't out there asking the hard questions. You're not going to get the answers needed to solve the case. You know, I think Ronnie Lawson sits back and he knows that he dropped the ball big time day one. Instead of treating that case like a criminal case from the get, he went up there and treated it like, you know, a freaking cookout. Bunch of friends gathering up to find a lost child. Well, Ronnie, you've messed up, buddy. You messed up, right? Yep. Sad thing is, he ain't been able to get it back. Yeah, I agree, Justice for All. I agree. You know, they had them, their children got taken into child protective services, right? They had to have something on them. I mean, child abuse, child neglect. You don't take people's kids for no damn reason. You don't go up there and take people's children for no reason. You got to have a reason, right? It's evident that you have to have reason. And if you have reason and these parents ain't changing any to get the children back, then yeah, prosecution in my book would be the thing to do, right? I mean, you took the children for child abuse, child neglect, you know, all these things. So why, and Are you not doing nothing to, you know, get justice for these children? Why is law enforcement doing nothing to get any type of justice for these children? Damn, we got one completely missing. One completely missing. If you don't call that irresponsible as hell, I don't know what is. You had two grown adult women on that property. Two grown adult women. And a child just comes up missing? In 2 minutes after being put inside a house? I think that alone would call for an arrest, right? I mean, if I was a Hawkins County law enforcement, it would have been, can you please turn around? You're under arrest. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law, right? She would have been getting her rights read to her. What's the charges? Well, you just told me a fucking lie that you expect me to believe. You underestimated my intelligence level. And I don't know if there is a law against that, but if there was, there should be. And since there should be, your ass going downtown. Right? I make my own laws. Especially when somebody, stupid thinks I'm even stupider to believe what they're saying. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Why law enforcement laughed that lie up, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like I'm going to tell you, the buddy system don't make good. The buddy system does not make good in any type of business. Whether it be law enforcement, corporations. I don't care what it is. It just doesn't make good. When you're the boss, Ronnie, when you're the boss, you can't afford to be friends, right? When you're the boss, when you're the head, of a law enforcement, you have no friends, sir. You have no friends. If someone commits a crime, you took an oath to uphold the law. You took an oath to put their ass in prison if need be. Right? That's what you did. You didn't take an oath to go around and play the buddy system with all these, people so they vote you in for sheriff next time. And people like, that scum of the earth don't vote anyway, Mr. Lawson. They're not the ones voting anyhow. The people voting for you are people like me who want to see, the law upheld. It's people like me. And when I see a little 5-year-old missing girl and there ain't shit getting done about it, Mr. Lawson, I don't want to vote for you again. Right? I don't want to vote for you again. I just think that you didn't do enough. Prune Pruitt, I wouldn't want to vote for him either. He's supposed to be overseer of this whole case. He's supposed to be actually doing more than Ronnie Lawson, right? So I wouldn't vote for him either. If Ronnie retired tomorrow, I would hope that Hawkins County has a whole new person running for sure. And that's probably who I would vote for, right? I'm pretty sure. And that's who I would push other people to vote for. I would remind them that we got a 5-year-old missing little girl and a whole lot of other cases that hasn't been solved. Because this law enforcement just don't seem like they're out there getting shit done. They're laying back and they're laying down on the job. TBI, that's Tennessee Bureau of Investigations as well. And it just seems like Tennessee law sucks. I mean, I know other counties and states that would have had this one in the bag, right? They'd have had this in the bag. They'd have had the answers they needed to bring Summer home and to get justice for her. Yeah, that's true, Justin. That's true. Miss Daisy was, yes, she was. She was definitely, she definitely was over there, abusing. She thinks she's got Don and Candace Wells in her pocket and that she can go around, talking and abusing other creators, right? Candace is very distraught and is suffered from Candace suffers from something, hun, but it sure in the hell ain't heart problems, because Candace ain't got no heart. What the hell are you talking about? That woman has got no heart. Honey, you need to speak with Candace a little bit and find out what all the rest of us who have knows, right? Go talk to Kathy about Candace. No, absolutely not. And distraught, honey, how can she be distraught when she's sitting on Daisy's channel laughing it up? Please tell me how the hell she's distraught, right? Tell me, explain that to me. Because the only thing I see Candace doing is laughing, cracking up. I seen her. She's got a picture of a dog on her avatar instead of her missing daughter, ma'am. Are you fucking kidding me? It's people like you that really piss me the fuck off. Oh, I don't know. Why don't you take your blinders off, Autumn? And maybe then you can see the fucking sunshine of summer, right? Because that's who this is about. Summer Moon Utah Wells. Say her name. Say her name. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Common Sense 101. That is hilarious. It better run before Donnie tries to smoke it. That is hilarious. That is definitely hilarious. Absolutely, Ronald. Absolutely. You have to, it's their way or the highway, right? It's their way or the highway over there at the farm, right? You better not don't mention Summer's name. Don't mention Summer. Over there, it's about Dawn and Candace. It's about supporting the two people that right now are supporting Miss Daisy's bank account. So please, you know, don't go over there causing any strife or it ain't about Summer over there, right? It ain't about Summer over here, y'all. It ain't about Summer over here. It's about Candace and Donald. It's about supporting Candace and Donald, the ones supporting my channel right now, the ones supporting my bank account. I've been buying some good shit here lately because you know why? I got Don and Candace over here. And they be bringing me in those super chats and those super stickers and those super chats. And I don't care. I really don't care because I didn't plan on being no true crime anyway. And for any missing children. So therefore, I really just don't care. Right? That's you know, that's Miss Daisy. That's Miss Daisy, y'all. You know, she made it plain. You know, she's like Candace. She'd rather play with some animals too, but just nobody wants to watch that shit. So, you know, this is what she does, you know, for the money. And it's a shame. It's a shame, yes. That you know that she's doing something that her heart truly isn't into. She is not for the victims at all, right? She's for everything but the victims. She's for whatever brings her the money, right? Miss Daisy, I don't even know if she's got it sold because I think personally she done sold it, right? I think she done sold it. So it is what it is. I mean, why people waste their time to go there and listen to her and her bullshit, knowing that you know she does not care for the victims at all, and that's what we're all here for, and that's what the people in her chat's supposed to be there for as well. They're not supposed to be there supporting Don and Candace Wells. They're supposed to be there supporting Summer Moon Utah Wells, the little girl that's missing. Hello, do we all remember her? Right? That's what they all had themselves out here. So, you know, personally myself, for me, I think her chat is just as fucking evil as she is. Because they're sitting over there, they portrayed to be for these missing victims, right? These people needing our help. They portrayed to be, you know, supporters for the victims. No matter what missing child it is, they're supposed to be there supporting the victims. But they're not. They're there supporting Miss Daisy, her fucking lies, and anything she wants them to support on top of all of that. And right now it happens to be Don and Candace Wells. Two suspects, actually number one suspects in law enforcement's eyes, right? So, you know, and this chat is over there, you know, woo-hooping it up, that the Wells are such great and beautiful and wonderful people, and they're all puckered up, and they're kissing hard on the backside of the Wells rear ends, right? Yeah, they are. And it is what it is. It is what it is. It's, you know, it makes you want to puke, to be honest with you. It makes you want to puke. Not just to see Miss Daisy, but to see all that chat in there sucking up hard as well, right? They're all sucking on the dirt, you know, the flow of freaking dirt coming off the Wells. So it is what it is. And Miss Daisy, she can run her mouth on PG all she wants, because, as you know, when she's running her mouth on me, she's leaving someone else alone, right? So I'm doing somebody a good deed, you know? I appreciate that because that just gets me a little bit closer to heaven, right? There you go. It gets me a little closer to heaven, but it is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Deputy Sheriff. Exactly. And yeah, she did supposedly attack and really wear them children out, right? She Candace Candace didn't want her kids. The kids were just like God with the Wells. They were not. They were not something that the Wells loved. Is something they used, right? Candace liked to use her children to get with people who had teenage boys that she could get with. They, get with people who had children um, to do whatever they was doing in Arkansas. They was doing it in Tennessee, right? They seemed to love to hunt down people who had children, boys, teenage boys, and little girls, right? Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. In two different states, I don't think so. And in Arkansas, we know that people got arrested and went to prison for SAing children that were on the Wells property, right? Living in the Wells garage and in tents in their backyard. Um, and the Wells were going to churches and acting like they needed they needed the soup kitchen in order to, and that's what they did. They were predators. They went to them soup kitchens to find young women and so forth who had children that they felt, the parent was drug dependent or alcohol dependent. Then they act like the savior, take them back to their house, and then they, once they got back there, these children started being used in a horrific way. And it seems like the same thing was going on in Tennessee, right? It seemed like instead of Donald, Pam, and Pam's older daughter in Arkansas, it seemed like it was Grandis, Candace, and Donald in Tennessee. It's the same shit, different day, couple different women for Don Wells, but the same scenario, right? So who was orchestrating this kind of stuff? Seems funny that Don Wells was with Pam and his older daughter when it was going on, and Don Wells was with Candace and Grandis when it was going on. So is there any way to take Don Wells out of that equation? I don't think so. It sounds to me like Don Wells is the equation, right? Just saying. I mean, that's why he had a big problem with Lisa. He didn't like Lisa because Lisa was there in Arkansas. Lisa knew what the hell was going on in that garage. She knew what was going on in those tents. She knew what was going on in these people's, in these people's dwellings. Lisa knew. And Donald did not want that coming out here that, because now people know that it was going on in Arkansas, and of course it was going on in Tennessee, right? Donald because if it was, people didn't know about Arkansas. Nobody knew about Arkansas. We had our suspicions of what was going on, Tennessee, especially with Jody Sue's mouth, right? Especially with Jody Sue's mouth coming out and saying a bunch of stuff, and people were like, well, that's Jody Sue. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a whole lot of truth to what Jody Sue was saying. whole lot of truth. Because, Lisa comes out of Arkansas, personally knows the Wells, and she personally had a child removed as well, right? Over the essay stuff, with some of the other people that were involved. So, you know, so it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. It is what it is. I think Robin Lane is collecting as much information as she can for Hawkins County law enforcement. I truly believe that Robin Lane has a direct pipeline into Ronnie Lawson's and Pruitt's heirs on the Wells. Absolutely. And I'm sure I'm sure she has turned in a lot of information about how they act, things that they say, what ain't adding up, what is adding up. So yeah, I mean, Summer had a lot of people who loved her. She had a lot of people that truly did care about her and truly did love her. And, I don't think there's anyone truly the Wells friend. And I think the Wells know that. I think they're smart enough to know that. That's why Dawn and Candace stick together, right? They stick together and they don't do nothing but basically mess with people. They like they did Cher and Benny, Cam and Allie. They use people like they did Kathy, right? They use these people. They use them, and it's the same way with Mary, right? Same way with Mary. They played games and used her to get the focus off Summer and onto something else. And they didn't care. They didn't care because Utah isn't going to, put them in prison, but Tennessee will, right? Nothing else is going to put them in prison. They can play games all day long, all day long. And as long as they don't cross certain lines, they're safe and they know it. So, and that's what they do. Like right now, they want to focus off of Summer and they want to put it onto Candace and Donald, being over at Farm Ladies, and supporting them and not Summer. And they figured that, that's going to take the focus off of Summer again, with people being angry, and put the attention on Daisy and on Daisy's crew instead of Summer. And that's what Dawn and Candace have been doing from day one, right? I mean, Donald wanted you to chase the yellow car, which had already been cleared. He wanted you to chase Mr. Dobbs, who law enforcement had done checked into. He wanted you to chase, Dudley. He said bad things about Dudley, and Dudley wasn't a bad one. Don Wells was, right? Don Wells was the one that worked this man who had children to feed and a wife to take care of. And Don Wells is the one that, was supposed to pay him, split the money with him. They were going to get $3,000. Dudley's supposed to got, $1,200 of that. And Don Wells gave him $200. But he's supposed to got $1,200. So Don Wells screwed him, not only fired him, but messed him out of his money as well. And then didn't even take him the $200 until, until like a long time after Summer came up missing, right? He went over to Kentucky and gave him some money. And that was just to get the focus off of Summer again and onto, and onto Dudley and him being there and the neighbor recording it all. And, Don would do anything. Then he, just like he threw Andy under the bus and he threw, Allie and Hunter, and it's just it was a mess, right? It was a total mess. So, yeah, Lisa, we can see you, hon. We can absolutely see you. But yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. But it is what it is. There you go. Haters will not ever like you because your spirit irritates their demons. This is little Summer. This is Summer as a baby, right? This is Summer's short life here. I'll let it play for you. Looks to me like, the Wells had all their children as long as they wanted children. This is Don and Candace, right? Where's the children at? Where's the children at? These are the kind of people they was. As you can see, they went out, they fed themselves, they had, good time. The kids had to stay home with Grandis while they're out eating, some looks like what's beautiful Mexican food. The kids are at home. Look at them. And they don't look overjoyed with what they're eating for sure. Actually, that's little Summer looked like she's glad she even pulled through it. As you can see, these kids got not much of anything, right? You've seen the kind of places Don and Candace went to. Here's what I'm talking about. Candace loved to hang with children, especially ones that had little girls and boys, right? Little girls and boys, teenage boys and little girls. This particular family trusted them, right? They trusted them. Well, I heard that trust got broken pretty quick. That's what I heard. The families don't want to talk about it, right? There's more than one. They don't want to talk about it. But this is, Summer as she's moving forth from birth to, to the short time that she got to be on this earth. She definitely was an all-American child, right? Here's the kids. You didn't see Don and Candace sharing a plate, but look at this. And they wanted to blame what? They wanted to blame Drew. They want to blame Hunter. This is when they went from one family to another one with teenage boys and little girls, right? This is when they went from the one family to another. And then they get Jose in the mix of it all, right? They get Jose in the mix of it all, which, destroyed the friendship with the other teenage boy and little girls that were hanging around. And there's Grandis and Candace, right? There's Grandis and Candace. Here's another. I'm surprised they didn't throw this lady under a bus, right? They probably would have if she wasn't from, Wisconsin. But Ronnie Lawson does really need to see this. Absolutely. We can't forget that Donald, before Summer came up missing, Donald has a moment, right? And they shaved this baby's head off. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. Miss Daisy, take a look at that. Why don't you take a look at that? Why don't you take a damn good look at what they did to this child? This beautiful little girl. Take a damn good look. That's what Miss Daisy needs to do, right? I don't think Miss Daisy could feel for anyone either. Because if she could, she wouldn't be backing them bastards. She wouldn't be backing people that do this to a beautiful little girl. How humiliating was this? How humiliating was this for this baby? And then look at this. Look at this. Yeah. Don Weld has a vision, right? He has a vision that something's happening to Summer. He just knew it was going to be Summer too. Absolutely Summer. Well, for sale, right? And then he has another moment, right? He has another moment of, oh, the same angel showed up again and said this time it's real near. Yeah, like a week and a half away, right? Like a week and a half away. He says it in this picture. He's saying, I'm sorry, Summer. I love you. Yeah, he already knew because it was pre-planned. It was pre-planned, folks. It came out of his own mouth that what happened was pre-planned. There you go. He singled this picture out and told people what happened. He starts driving the Subaru at this time as well, right? He starts driving the car that actually can track him and let law enforcement and everyone know where he's at. He is building up his alibis, right? His phone, the car. Yeah. It's funny that all of this is falling into place with the time she comes up missing. He even found himself a victim, right? Is there anyone angry with you that might have done something like this? Well, yeah, a co-worker that I fired and refused to pay and made a damn enemy out of so that I could use him right now, right? So I could use him right now and get law enforcement on him instead of on us. because I pre-planned this shit and I got it working out to a T. It would not have been mattered who was working for Don Wells. At the time Summer came up missing, he would have still fired them, and he'd have still kept their money to turn them into a suspect when honestly this man is nothing but a victim. He's a victim to the plan that Candace Grandis and Don Wells planned and carried out June the 15th, 2021. Right? That's my opinion. That's my opinion, and it is my opinion because that's my opinion because that is exactly what Don Wells said out of his own sick pie hole. Right? Out of his own sick, infected pie hole. And then Candace, look at her, plays the victim. She plays the victim. She don't want to tell us when or where she dressed this child at, right? That she put this outfit on this child. She don't want to tell us when or where this child took the jacket off. She don't even want to tell us if she fed this child anything that day. Why? Because she didn't, right? Because she didn't. A damn slushy, and we wouldn't have knew about it if it wasn't for Hunter, right? So, yeah, absolutely. She doesn't want, she knew everything. When Chris M. talked to her, she knew everything that happened from the time they got up that morning all the way up to they dropped Hunter off. Once they dropped Hunter off, this bitch went brain dead. Right? For real. She just, like comatose. She has no damn idea what happened after that, right? Just a bunch of made up shit. A bunch of made up shit trying to, the police kept coming back and coming back and coming back saying, the little bit of stuff you're giving us, the little bit of shit you're giving us, lady, is not taking up the 3.5 hours it took you to call us. Right? It's not taking up the time, lady. So she'd give him a little bit more, right? Well, I did some laundry, anything she could think of, right? Anything she could think of. And it still was not adding up to the time when they called law enforcement because this child was missing. It wasn't adding up to 3 damn hours worth of stuff. It hasn't ever added up to 3 hours worth of stuff. Right? Not ever. And even what she was saying, law enforcement was not believing. They were not believing. They knew she's a damn liar. They knew she's a damn liar. That's why they was up there. And then they make up the story right? They want you to believe someone came up there, snuck across to that door. Well, boom. We know that didn't happen. We know that didn't happen because we got a picture of the trailer. And we got a picture of everything you can see. And we can see Candace and Grandis sitting right there. And we can see that they could see all the way down through here. That there would be nothing able to come or go that they did not see. Matter of fact, they could throw a rock and hit it. They could have threw a rock and hit it. They would have heard it and seen it. Right? They would have heard and seen. So, there you go. There you go. Ronnie Lawson's right. No signs of an abduction. Right there's Grandis and Candace. Right? And even when Summer's in the house, right? Even when Summer went in the house for 2 minutes, Grandis and Candace is outside right there, right? fixing a knee brace. Even when Candace went in, boom, there's Grandis sitting there, seeing and watching everything. Grandis is still there, seeing and watching everything. Right? And let's not forget about all the people, the searchers, right? The searchers that came up there. They wanted these people to believe that bullshit. And then when they get the search dogs, well, the first search dogs got messed up, right? Because Candace let her dogs mess up the search dogs, and she laughed. I actually talked to her about that, and she laughed. She thought it was funny that they messed up the first search dogs. Yeah, and they had to take them back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her and Donald. They thought it was funny. And get new ones. And get new ones. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They thought that was hilarious. And it's, from what I heard, they gave the search dog a sock. Now that's what I'm hearing. An old dirty sock. But Candace said she gave them a pair of old dirty shorts. She said she gave them an old pair of Summer's dirty shorts out of the laundry, right? Out of a big bunch of dirty clothes that had already been intermixed with the boys and with everybody else. She gives them a pair of dirty shorts. Why? I don't care if she gave them a sock or a pair of shorts. It doesn't make a hill of damn beans. Whether it was a sock or a pair of shorts. The point being is, what does make a hill of beans? What does make a hill of beans is look at Summer. Take a good look at Summer right here on these milk cartons. Take a good look at what she's wearing. Because what does make a hill of beans is the clothes she had on that day is right here in the box. Right there is the bathing suit at the bottom. Then the sundress that was over the bathing suit. And the jacket. The very jacket she had on that day. The very jacket she was wearing. Why wasn't that given to law enforcement to find Summer? Why wasn't it given to law enforcement to find Summer? Because the Wells didn't want Summer found. They did everything to keep her from being found by messing up the first search dogs with other dogs and hiding the stuff she had on that day instead of giving it to the search dogs the second time to find this little girl. And why did they not want the dogs picking up Summer's scent? Because they already knew what happened, right? They knew what happened. That's why. They did everything not to find this baby instead of finding her, because she wasn't lost. She wasn't lost in their eyes, right? They even told law enforcement that she was not out in the woods, right? That she did not wander off. Well, if they know she didn't wander off, then they must know where she wandered to. That's what I'm saying. Right? Exactly the same reason why they didn't give a recent picture of Summer. There you go, girl. And that's another thing. No, they didn't. They put out a picture that didn't look nothing like her, right? Right? And then Donald wanted to start hollering and getting people to attack who? His co-worker first. This is the first one. Because this is the one he set up. This is the one he set up to put the blame on. So yes, he threw this guy under the bus first. That tells me Don Wells knew exactly what happened, because he because he did everything to cover his ass, even pick himself a victim, right? He even picked himself a victim to take the blame. There you go. And then when Dudley came out on him and everybody's seeing that, he says Frank Light, right? He was throwing Frank Light under the bus. He was really going after, and Jose. Frank Light, Jose, Andrew Halt, because Andrew had something to do with Jose. Allie, they attacked Allie pretty good too, right? And Hunter, they attacked Hunter, right? Wells don't have no friends. Look at this. I think it's a little unnatural for these kind of pictures to be being took with some old fucking lady and a young teenage boy. I think this is disgusting. This is right down disgusting. This woman right here is a predator. She's a predator. Keep your sons away from her. She's sick. She's nasty. And she does not care. She does not care to aid and abet minors with illegal substances, right? Let it be liquor, drugs, or cigarettes and vapes, right? She does not care. She does not uphold the law when it comes to children. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because that's what, that's what her and Don Wells seek. That's what they seek. They seek women like Allie with young boys and little girls, try to befriend them, and then do nasty things with their children. They're not seeking Allie, they're seeking the children. That's disgusting. And this was happening in Arkansas as well, folks. It was happening in Arkansas. Lisa told me it was happening in Arkansas as well. The only difference was it was Pam and her oldest daughter working with Donald instead of Grandis and Candace. That's what I'm understanding. And they blamed True, right? They blamed True. And they blamed Andy. They blamed Andy. They even threw Andy. Oh, and that ain't the half of it. Even Chris M he was saying that Chris M and his sisters did it, right? That they did it to get the focus off of themselves, right? To get the focus off, Don and Candace will say anything. Anything to get the focus off of them. Absolutely. They even let this man be thrown under the bus, right? They even had people attacking and looking into this man done nothing, but he got his life turned upside down because of the Wells. Absolutely got his life turned upside down because of the Wells. This man is a victim. All these people were victims. Jody Sue. She got thrown under the bus as well, right? She got thrown under the bus, and her son with her. And her son with her, right? The Wells said, oh, well, they chased him off the property, right? They chased him off the property. They said he was a little weird, and capable of possibly doing some harm to a child. And that's what the Wells were saying, right? They let the Andy and Jody Sue but Jody Sue didn't help the case none, did she? She didn't help the case none. She was telling some vicious, crazy, off the wall shit too. And I gotta wonder about that, because a lot of what she was saying, it seems like from Arkansas, was true. Right? From past history, It seems like what she was saying was truth. So, with that being said, what was her involvement in it if she knew? If she knew so much, you know, obviously, like I said, I don't think the Wells is only one into this. I think there's more people into it than we think. And they threw this guy under the bus, right? They tried to throw him under the bus. And him, right? Good old friend Fred down the road. And then they even come back and try to say, oh, it was true in her boyfriend. I am sorry to tell you, but that preppy boy right there, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. That kid right there goes to high school. Probably, makes good grades, and definitely into sports and whatever. He's too preppy. He's too preppy. Guys like that don't go committing crimes. That's insane. Trust me. And the recent victim recently was Marlena Crawford. I didn't put her picture up because, I'm not going to. That woman has kids. She lost her dad. There's a lot going on in Marlena's life, and I'm not going to throw her pictures out here because that's just wrong. That's wrong. But and the only reason that he got put out here by Don Wells' mouth recently was because he is friends with Ricky Crawford. So, Don Wells really was going after the Crawfords and anyone that knew the Crawfords, that he could get the focus off of him and Candace and onto somebody else again. He even lied about this man, saying this man did vicious things that he did not do at all. Don Wells better watch it. He better watch it. He better watch who he talks about. Because there's some people ain't going to take his shit. Some people are not going to take Don Wells shit, right? They're not going to like being out here and being talked about by Don Wells. And I think this is one guy that ain't going to like it. I really do. Anything to keep the focus off of them, right? Candace, Grandis, and Donald. Yep. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yes, our daughter is missing. No, we do not want anyone's help searching for her. Huh. You got a missing daughter, but you don't want nobody's help finding her. Big red flag, folks. Big red flag. You don't want help finding her. Obviously, you know where she's at. Who in the hell does this? Tell me. Who writes something to their child over top of a coffin? Candace did. Take a look at that, folks. Out of all the pictures Candace Wells has of her daughter Summer, she picks this one to write something over. This is what Miss Daisy's over there sucking backside with, right? This is what Miss Daisy is over there sucking backside with. This is what we refuse. What we refuse to support. We don't support no suspects, especially number one, suspects. And we sure in the hell ain't going to support someone that sits there and does something like this. Right? Out of every picture she could have picked, she picked this. she was sending you a message. They know exactly where their daughter is. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you something. They have no empathy. Don Wells and Candace Wells has no empathy for no one. They are incapable of loving anyone, including their self. That's why they abuse their own selves with drugs and alcohol and all the other shit that they could get their hands on to destroy the human self, right? They don't even care about themselves. If you care about yourself, you don't do that kind of stuff, right? You care about yourself. You definitely do not do drugs. You do not suck down alcohol until you become an alcoholic. People that do stuff, people that are all risky like that, they can't care for themselves, and they sure to hell don't care for no one else. All they care for is the substance and the alcohol and the other things that they're abusing, right? That's all they care about, is all the stuff they're abusing and how they're going to get it. And how they're going to get it. That's why they're thick-faced enough to come out here after doing what has been done and try to get support. These people have no shame. They have no empathy and they have no shame. They're really disgusting. They're disgusting human beings. And Daisy sits over there and, all over the backside of their freaking asses, right? Of course she does. Of course she does. She's a bootlicker, right? Her black forked tongue that, that she uses to twist everything to meet her agenda has turned brown from licking the whale's backside. Trust me, for real. Right? For real. Daisy can say whatever the hell she wants to about PG, but Daisy, I want to know what it feels like. I like to know what it feels like to fucking not be able to get your tongue back to its normal color from licking the whale's backside. That's what I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. You're going to have to bleach that bitch. Right? You're going to have to bleach that bitch. Get all that brown stains off of it. That's just nasty. That's nasty. It is what it is. You can put up all the pictures you want. All the pictures you want of blowing gas at other people. But honey, you had it on your sofa, blowing at ass all over your house. Right? You had it laying on your sofa all night. All night. Blowing that stuff all over your house. I mean, Candace is gone, but her fucking stench is still all over your house. But you might not be able to smell it due to your own stench. I don't know. Right? You don't strike me as having, you don't strike me as having a house that's disinfected and pine sol and all the good smelling stuff, right? I don't think there's no beautiful air fresheners going off in your house, period, right? People knock on your door. I don't think they'd be smelling, lemons and roses or anything like that. They smell pure ass. Especially if you open your mouth. Especially if you open your mouth, Miss Daisy. I know they smelling ass then. Because you ain't nothing but an ass kisser. That's the truth. That's the truth. I speak the truth. People don't like it. But hey, that's too damn bad, right? That's too damn bad. I say if you don't like it, lump it, right? You don't like it, lump it. There you go. Because I personally don't care. I really don't. You know, this is the YouTube world out here, right? YouTube world. She sits over there and feels like, she's got some kind of a right. She's got some kind of right to put down other people who are for Summer. She's got some kind of right trying to tell people they need to get rid of their channel so Summer don't have a channel anymore, right? For the whales. I'm going to tell you something, Miss Daisy. This channel will be here when your shit is gone. This channel will be here when the whales finally give you the boot in the ass like they have everyone else. And they will give you the boot in the ass. They really will. Absolutely. They gave it to everybody else. You are not no exception to the rule. And then you'll come out and you'll try to play recordings of, recordings of Candace and that thing she said that you think you could tap on and turn into something evil on her. And you'll do it to Donald. Anything you guys got, you will be trying to use as a pitchfork in the whale's backsides. That's okay because Don and Candace Wells already know what you're going to do. You are not using them as much as they are using you right now. Really, really, you're not. They are totally and utterly using you to try to get the focus off Summer and off of, this case and off of them being the main suspects and what they ran their mouth about and pretty much solved the case because Donald pretty much told us all exactly what happened. Pre-planned, premeditated, got carried out on June 15th, 2021. So, with that being said, Don's just afraid that, he don't want people pushing law enforcement with that ticket of his confession, which I'm sure law enforcement's already being pushed, right? They're being pushed. People are asking, he came out and said this, why are you not doing nothing about it? Why are you not using it against them? And the answer is, how do you know we're not? Hey, that's all I needed to hear. Because now I know you are. Have a great day. That's how that conversation went. Right? That's how that conversation went. So, Donald, they are looking at you. And they're looking at what you said. I think you done screwed up a little too much. I think it's time for Don Wells to hide. And Candace to follow right behind him. I ain't overly intelligent, but I'm intelligent enough to know when your ass should take a break. Right? I'm that intelligent. I'm intelligent enough to know that law enforcement's ready to come down on their asses. I'm intelligent enough to know that Miss Daisy and them are helping them come down on their asses. Right, Miss Daisy? Oh, how does PG know so much stuff? She must have a son that's in law enforcement that's giving her information. Right? Yeah. Why's he got to be my son, Miss Daisy? Why's he got to be my son? There's a lot of people in law enforcement. Why you got to be my son? Yeah. Yep. Miss Daisy, you've been ringing the phone off over there at law enforcement with a few little tips yourself, hon. Right? Things that you thought was a little important to be said, along with some of your other cronies. Some of your other cronies calling in too. Don't let Miss Daisy fool you. She's playing like she cares about the wells and everything. And yes, she does, because right now they're building her bank account. But she is turning them in. She is giving tips to law enforcement. Candace said something at her house that she thought law enforcement needed to hear. So didn't you, Candace? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You know what I'm talking about. Candace likes to run her mouth. Candace likes a pity party. She likes to throw people under the bus to get herself pity party. And Miss Daisy acts like you can trust me, Candace. There you go. There you go. They won't be getting the boys back. Absolutely not. They're number one suspects in the case of Summer's disappearance. Law enforcement's coming down on them rapidly. They're about to get arrested, to be honest. Don and Candace Wells are about to be arrested and convicted for the crime of what happened on 110 Ben Hill Road, June the 15th, 2021, from my understandings. That's what's coming through the grapevine. That's what I'm hearing. I hear that law enforcement has got a lot of tips since Don came out of jail that has strengthened the case against the Wells as well. That's come out of their own mouths. So, with that being said, it is what it is. Don and Candace always pick the wrong people to befriend, right? They always pick the wrong people to befriend. And these people are always making the phone calls, speaking directly with law enforcement upon it. And they have no exceptions now. So, it is what it is. Idiots. As you know, the two of them ain't got a brain between them. And Grandis, she tries to keep their mouth shut, but hell, she ended up running her mouth the wrong way as well, right? So it was like a big spoiler alert. She messed up pretty bad also, which even more indicted them, right? Into seeing a prison cell very soon. The boys, from my understanding, have pretty much been completely taken away from the Wells. The Wells know they're not going to be seeing their boys anytime soon. Like 18 years old if they decide to come back home to the Wells. And then they would have to go home, take a bath, get dressed, and go to the prison wherever daddy and mommy and grandma has been put, probably. That's what I'm hearing. there's not going to be no, there'll be a home to come back to, but they won't be no Don and Candace, which they might not be a home because Don and Candace might have to sell that for attorney fees to try to, beat the case, which I doubt if they're going to be able to beat it. They got too many people willing to come in and testify against them now. And some dirty behaviors that they had. That dates back all the way into Arkansas, right? All the way back into Arkansas. So there's people in Arkansas willing to testify that Don and Candace Wells, was picking up women with children like that, and these children were being sexually abused upon their property in Arkansas. And it sounds like the same thing was happening in Tennessee. So that's not going to be good for Don Wells, right? Not going to be good for Don Wells. Ain't going to be good for, when he's getting convicted anyway. That's what I'm understanding. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. That's just what I'm hearing. But take a look at what kind of mother Candace is, right? She's pretty much sent you guys. She's pretty much letting you know that she knows she ain't ever going to see her daughter again, right? No matter what dirty deed they did on June the 15th, 2021, sold her or destroyed her. Candace knew, Summer wasn't ever coming back. Sometimes you don't need to hear their excuses on what they have to say. For themselves, because their actions already spoke the truth. That definitely right there sums up the Wells, right? That sums up the Wells. And that little paragraph sums up the Wells right there. We don't need to hear their bullshit anymore. We don't need to hear their bullshit anymore. Their actions have showed us the truth. Their actions. We've seen enough. We've seen enough, folks, to know, to know what happened to this little girl. If law enforcement knows it, then we know it. I personally think you got a sociopath and a person with, borderline personality disorder. That's a real bad combination right there, especially for anyone in their path. These are two people that, like I said, they don't even love themselves, let alone anyone else. They don't care what they do or what happens to others. Ronnie Lawson needs to understand that. He needs to understand what he's dealing with, him and Pruitt. They need to get off their asses, and they need to take this guy who says in this picture, a week and a half before his daughter disappeared, he's telling her how sorry he is because he already knows what he done, right? He already knew what he done. He knew his daughter was going to be gone soon. Why? It had to be pre-planned if you knew. If you knew she's going to be gone very soon, you had to know where she was going to. This was premeditated. Premeditated. This was not an accident. This was premeditated, folks. And these were the two women there who made sure that whatever's supposed to happen did. Right? They must have made sure, like Don said, when he got home that day, he knew what was supposed to happen, what was intended to happen, had happened. It is what it is. It got real. It got real. And just think about the hot dog store here lately. You know, they're still, and that makes me sick. You know, they're over at Daisy's channel. And what is she? She sits there and she condones two people who thinks it's funny to say their daughter got took by a UFO. She thinks it's funny to sit there and, take up for someone that says, well, she ate a cold hot dog that morning. And then it was, no, she didn't eat a cold hot dog. I fixed all the kids' hot dogs before I left. The kids weren't even up. You said they were still in bed, Candace, when you got home. You said that I think some was watching TV or something, the other one's still sleeping. So how the hell do you make hot dogs if your children weren't even up to eat them? You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You lied. You thought it was funny to say something like that. That's who you're feeding hot dogs to right there. You're feeding hot dogs right there to him in a hotel room. There you go. You guys think it's a funny story. They think it's a funny story. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not funny to me. It's not funny to me, folks. It really ain't. Because this baby right here, this 5-year-old missing child, 5-year-old missing Summer Wells, Summer Moon Utah Wells, is missing. Nobody knows where Summer is. Nobody knows exactly what happened to her, what they did with her. We don't know. What we do know is the Wells have already, out of their own mouths, let us all know who did it. Them. We know that they're number one suspects in law enforcement's eyes. That's enough to tell me they did it. Ronnie Lawson said no sign of abduction. And the lady that works with him, when they asked, is that still, off the table, no signs of, she said it still stands. No signs of an abduction. And Pruitt said that's why we did the deep searches, because we knew if she was anywhere out there, we would have found her. There's only abduction, wandering off, and foul play. First two have been took off the table by law enforcement themselves. Only foul play is left. Foul play means the parents. Right? The parents, folks. It's just common sense. When law enforcement comes out, one comes out and rules out abduction, and the other one comes out and rules out wandering off, which the Wells did that themselves early on, right? At least foul play. There you go. So, people could sit there and they can say all they want to about Don Wells. Oh, he was at work. He's this. No. Don Wells, I'm going to tell you right now, is a full-blown psychopath. That's what I truly believe. Some people would say sociopath. No, I say psycho. This man's dangerous. He cares about no one, and he's very manipulating. He tries to soothe it and smooth it over with people. People like him, you better be damn careful. Keep your doors locked. Right? Keep your door locked. That's all I got to say. You know, he's one, him and Candace, like I said, him and Pam went to those places. Don Wells has had a lot of practice as what he's been doing, especially when it comes to teenagers and children. He knows how to find people with these children so that they'll be at their disposal. Right? This has went on a long time. And the only thing, and it may keep going on if they get away with it. If they get away with this, who knows? Who knows what children will be next? They will continue to try to find children because that's what they do. Right? That's why it's important that law enforcement does what needs to be done to prosecute these two people and get them out of society, including that old granny. They need to get her ass out of society as well. She was there. She knows exactly what happened. They need to get her ass out of society as well. These people should not be anywhere near any child. We watched Don Wells verbally abuse his grandson. What he said was his grandson. Now, I don't know if this is his grandson or not. I don't know who that child was. That child could have just been another child somewhere in a hotel. People they befriended had their kid hanging in there. I don't know. I don't know if it's a grandkid or it ain't. But it doesn't matter because he verbally abused that child and he threatened to physically abuse that little boy. Right? We heard it. We heard it with our own ears. And that's what these children were going through as well. That's what these children were going through as well. I'm telling you, these people do not have no feelings or love or anything else for no one, not even themselves. They're evil. They're evil. And this baby right here paid the price of that evilness. This baby paid the price, not just when she disappeared, not just on June the 15th, 2021, everyone. Listen, this baby paid the price of their evilness from birth. This little girl paid the price every day of the short life she lived. Let us remember that. Let us remember that these children, all four of them, they knew what it was like to be hungry. They knew what it was like to be dirty. They knew what it was like to be verbally and physically abused by the Wells. We have people that's come forth and said that they personally witnessed the Wells, Candace, welling on the boys. We had people inside of stores, right, came forth and said they saw Candace beat Summer's hands and attack her for wanting a piece of candy. She'd buy for the boys, but abuse Summer. Right? Let us not forget none of these things. They displayed their children. They displayed their children to befriend other people in order to take advantage of their children as well. That's exactly what sick people like the Wells do. Friends like the Wells, you do not need any enemies, and your children are not safe. right? Your children are not safe. It took this little girl right here. It took her. And what happened on June 15th, 2021 to save her brothers from all they was going through as well. And let us not forget that a couple of the boys said they do not want to go back. It's their choice of not wanting to go back. Please don't send us back. When children don't want to go home, it was bad. Right? It was really bad. It's just what it is. You know, it's our job. It's our job to seek the safety of children. You see something, say something. If you're too much of a coward to step up and speak up for a child, then you know you'll answer to God for that, right? You'll answer for God. I personally think you won't get into heaven. I personally think, you know, cowards, even the Bible says cowards will not go to heaven. Right? A coward will not go to heaven. If you're too afraid to pick up that phone and dial whoever you need to dial to save a child that you absolutely know is being abused, you're a piece of crap. You're a piece of crap. Actually, you know, God put us all on this earth to you know, make sure everyone dwells safe together. It's your job to make sure that your neighbors are just as safe as you are. And it's your neighbor's job to make sure you're safe. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Now, I know a lot of people don't give a F about their neighbors, right? I know that. But that's their problem. You know, they have to answer to God for that as well, right? You got to answer to God. God ain't going to ask me about nobody else. He's going to ask me about me. And if I see something, I'm going to say something. Right? If I see something, I'm going to say something. I'm not a damn coward. I don't care if I have to get your address. I don't care if I have to get your license plate number. I don't care. If I see you abusing a child, leaving a child alone in a car, a vehicle, while you haul your ass into a store or something, yes, I'm going to get your license plate number and I'm going to report you. Because I'm going to tell you something. It takes 1 second for someone to take a child away. 1 second for that kid to get out and something happen to it. If you do not know how to watch your children, you should not have them. Right? If you ain't got time to get them out of the vehicle and take them in with you and bring them back out with you, you're too lazy to do that, you need to report it. Just how I think and how I feel. If you do not, you know, you want to leave your kids in a car and run in and out of places all by yourself, then take another adult with you that can watch them while you're doing what you're doing. There you go. There you go. Your child, it's called a child. Why? Why is a child called a child? Because it is not old enough yet to take care of itself. And it needs an adult to do that for it. Use your brain. You're not living in a world, you know, today. It's not, you know, it's not the 1940s, 50s, 60s, where you could, you know, all these nice folks watching over one another, and everybody knows everybody, you know, all the windows down, windows up at the house. It's not like that anymore. You're living in a world today where you have too many predators in this world, always looking, always seeking to do evilness. You live in a world where it is unsafe to leave your child unattended anywhere. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's in a store. I don't care if it's in a car. You cannot leave your children unattended, right? People get out of their car, they go to run in somewhere, and what happens? Their car gets took. Well, the kid's in it, ain't it? The child's in there, and then they're on the phone screaming, "Oh, my babies! Somebody just took off with my babies." Well, why'd you leave your babies in there? You know what I'm saying? You're just as much at fault for what happened as the person that took your babies. Right? It's just what I'm, your neglect caused, your actions caused that reaction. Your neglectful actions caused the reactions that happened. Oh, some weirdo tried to get my child at the bus stop. Why wasn't you at the bus stop with your child? Why wasn't you there? Oh, something happened to my child going or coming home from school. Why wasn't you there? Or why didn't you have another adult there? If you can't be there, it's your job to make sure someone else that is responsible is there. Right? Because children can't walk home from school anymore alone. That's dangerous. We all know it. And if you allow it and something happens, that's your fault. That is your fault. The evil of this world is not hiding. We all know the evils of this world. Now, either we can do what it takes, right, to take care of our kids, make sure these kind of things don't happen. At least if something did happen, you could say, I was doing all I could to make sure it didn't happen. At least you would be able to lay down and possibly get some sleep. Right? Because you did your damn best. It had to be God had to want the child back. If you're doing everything you need to do and something still happens, I don't know what to tell a person. I don't know. Candace Wells did go to the hospital with the flu. She did not go to the hospital with any heart issues. She went to the hospital with the flu. She was coughing. Miss Daisy told Donald to take her. Don didn't listen. I got a hold of Donald. I told Donald to take her because he's looking awful bad. He said, she won't go. I said, well, drag her. Because your image is looking like shit, but I want Candace to live because we need the answers of what went down on June 15, 2021. And as much as I think she would be the last one to ever talk, I could be wrong and she'll be the first. So therefore, we must keep her healthy, right? Oh yeah, our bucket list has holes. She is a beautiful mod. I am so grateful to have her. I am absolutely grateful to have her. She is definitely a diamond in the rough, right? When it comes to having a mod. Yeah, 1 in a million. She's great. Great. But I have a lot of beautiful mods. I got a lot of beautiful mods in here. But yeah, you know, we ain't gonna be no Daisy over here. I'm sorry. We're not. We're not. You know, like I said, I don't need the Wells over here saying shit. I don't need them. Matter of fact, the farther they stay away from Summer's channel, the better off I feel. Right? The better off I feel. When I see them pop up, I want to boot them. I'm not gonna lie. I really do. But I pop them up to see if they are ready to support their daughter by letting everyone know what happened to her. Are they ready to tell the truth? Are they ready to do what's righteous for their child? And every time the answer is no. And that's a little disheartening. Often keeps me awake at night. So I'd rather them just stay the fuck away from this channel. You know, absolutely. I seriously don't really need them to talk because they've already talked enough that I think we've 150% hit on what happened that day. Don Wells told on himself. And I think that's a mission, and I think that should be prosecuted. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. If anybody else would have said what Don Wells said, your ass be in prison right now. Why he isn't, I don't know. Why he isn't, I don't know. But I think it's got something to do with them wanting to get the boys out of the way first. And then prosecute their asses. So, with that being said, and everything going on right now, the system is very slow. It is really slow, folks. So we have got to have patience with law enforcement, because I see cases that are already cut and dry, and they keep getting moved out to new dates. And so they need to, right now they're what they call backlogged. And what they need to do is, I hear here in June, they're going to get on it. They're going to try to get rid of a lot of caseloads. And then the Wells are going to go on the dockets. I don't know, but this is what I'm hearing. So we'll wait and see. But at the end of the day, right here is what you need to be supporting. Summer Moon Utah Wells. This is the little girl you need to be supporting. No one else, just her. This is what we was all here for. Right here, we was all here to figure out what happened to her. We were all here to keep her in the spotlight. We were all here to make sure law enforcement does what needs to be done for her sake. No one else's, for hers. And it seems like a lot of people are out here for everything but that, right? We got a whole channel going. Matter of fact, a couple of them. Don't get me wrong. I believe in, innocent until proven guilty too. But when people are law enforcement's number one suspects, I think that's pretty much, you're guilty. Right? You're guilty. Law enforcement's just putting together everything to prosecute your ass. You're guilty. It is what it is. I do think Don B is onto something about, it seems like Don Wells had his first dream about the time that Jose was getting the hell out of there. Right? It was about the time Jose was getting the hell out of there is when Don Wells focused in on Summer. And it's about the time that Allie and them started calling Child Protective Services constantly as well, right? They really started getting hit with Child Protective Services a lot. So, with that being said, yeah. I don't think that, I think what happened was, I think what possibly could have happened, I think he might be off on one thing. It seems like Donald focused in on Summer after the Jose thing. I think Donald was actually looking of a way to entrap Candace, and at the same time kind of destroy her by destroying their daughter. I really do. I think Summer is, as Don said, what was carried out on June 15, 2021. I think that, I think he had Candace and Grandis do the dirty job. Well, he had an alibi. Do the dirty job, the dirty deed, right? But I think it was all to hurt Candace. And I think it was also a way to entrap her now, to where she ain't got nothing on him. He's got all on her and her mother. So, and it's a known fact that people like Don Wells cannot care about anyone but themselves anyway. I mean, and I truly believe that's what he did. He used Candace's own daughter against her in so many ways. And I think Candace knows it. Right? I think she knows it. But what can she do? She also knows that, she also knows when she says she's a hot mess, what she's saying is, I got, I got dependencies, especially alcoholism and other dependencies to where, you know, I'm not strong enough. I'm too weak to do anything for myself. Well, what Candace doesn't realize is, Don Wells, Don Wells he's 60 some years old, right? Or hitting 60 some. I don't know. I know he's up there in age. He's already had medical issues, right? And he abuses not only substance but alcohol as well, right? To the fullest, to the fullest. And Candace, what I'm trying to say is Candace is going to have a lot of years. She's going to have a lot of years alone to think about, all of this. When, if law enforcement prosecuted them tomorrow, Don Wells might live five, might live 5 or so years. He might pull 5 to 10. Candace is going to pull, she's going to pull anywhere from 25 to 30, right? She's going to pull 25, 30 years in jail. She's going to do a lot more time than Don Wells. Don will be dead and buried while she's still sitting in a prison cell, right? So if somebody's going to talk, it would be the smartest one would be her, because she's got a lot more to lose. And he did manipulate them into doing what they done, and him wanting to have all alibis for himself so that he could entrap her in this mess. What taking something away from her because of Jose. Don is a very sinister human being. I got to give him credit. He's very sinister. Absolutely sinister. And like he said, he had no problem with Child Protective Services taking all the boys as well. He wanted Candace to lose everything the way he felt when he went up there and they tried to take everything away from him with Jose. He got even. He got even with Candace. But, she allowed it. She wasn't able to read into what he was doing and say no. Right? So, it is what it is. I don't think it's an accident cover-up. I think it was premeditated. For sure. For sure. But, it is what it is. I came in here tonight. I came in tonight because it is the 15th. I try hard not to ever miss the 15th of the month for summer. 2 years, I think we've missed 1, maybe 2 at the most on the 15th for summer. Every 15th, I try to make sure that I come in and do something for summer, for sure. Before I move on with that, I just want to give everybody a visual of what I think about the farm over there. There you go. There you go. That's exactly what I got, you know, in my mind, in my visual sense of the farm is right there. Couple of jackasses, right? Couple of jackasses over there running their mouth, right? There you go. One's a real jackass, right? One's a real jackass. Actually, their head's on the wrong end. And the other one, as you see, it's still spewing, right? It's spewing. That mouth wide open, as it always is. Yeah. So, it is what it is. But yeah, there they are. There they are. The Teletubby sisters. Now they're just a couple of jackasses. Right? Couple of jackasses. There you go. Anyway, I'm not going to let the whales, nor am I going to let the two jackasses take up any more of Summer's time tonight. I'm going to move straight forth with her songs, and I'm gonna play everybody's favorite song first. Okay, as I ask every night, please, 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 prayers going up for this beautiful baby. Please keep those prayers going up. I know God's listening. I know God's going to answer. He's already answering, right? He's already answering. He has already let so much more information come out than we had before. So he's already answering. Keep the prayers going up. That law enforcement does take all the information. They do put it all together. And let's pray. Let's pray they got enough to prosecute and find out where this baby's at. Let's pray that God just pulls it all to the light and we're able to bring Summer home and get justice. Let us pray for that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Pray for one another, as I always ask. Keep the prayers going up for one another. When you pray for others, it shows God that you're a beautiful person, and therefore he'll answer your prayers as well, right? Because he knows that you want good for all people, and he'll give all good to you as well. Always be kind. Be kind. Right? I try. It's hard, especially out here in the YouTube world. It is really hard. This is not a place where it's not a place for the weak. That's for sure. It is not a place for the weak. People out here are really, really mean. They really are the devil's advocates. A lot of people are the devil's advocates. I know of two I can mention right now, right? Couple of jackasses. And they love, their feet are swift to run to trouble. They love stirring up strife, right? Because they feel it gets some attention. And I don't mind giving them the attention if they want it, right? I don't mind giving them the attention. I'll give them the attention, all right. I will give them attention. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'd rather have a friend than a foe any day. But that's not easy out here because you got so much hate on your back. You got so much hate on your back out here. You don't know who you can trust, who you can't, who you can befriend, who you can't. Absolutely not. So, like I said, if they want it, bring it. Summer's Army over here is always ready. We are always ready, right? We got our suits of armor on, our steel-toed boots. They want to bring it, bring it. I suggest Daisy, quits running her sut right there, right? I think she needs to quit running that sut and move on with herself. Or should I say, move on with herself, right? That's what she needs to do. But keep those prayers going up. Keep them going up. No, Daisy, I'm not praying for you. I'm not. I won't sit here and say, oh, yeah, I'm praying for Daisy. We just got to pray for her. No, Miss Daisy, I'm not a liar. When really you've got hate in your heart. You got hate in your heart. I'm not saying I ain't praying for you because I ain't got no hate in my heart. I just don't think you're worth the prayer. And it is what it is. So no, I'm not praying for you. As hard as that is, but I'm telling the truth. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I'm an honest person. I'm honest. I am not going to waste my prayers on her. Absolutely not. Someone that viciously attacks me every opportunity she gets to run that slut she does. Absolutely not. There'll be no prayers going up for her. Not from me, anyway. If you guys feel like praying for her, please do. I don't stop anybody from praying for nobody. But I'm going to tell you what. I ain't praying for them. Absolutely not. They're lying tongue, freaking demons. And I don't pray for demons. And also, her sister over there saying how, putting out her business over here. No, you brought that shit to this channel. You brought it to this channel. Matter of fact, you owe me an apology for bringing your trashy ass Jezebel harlot story over here to my channel, right? You brought all of that over here. And you were linking out on your own channel, what a Jezebel you was by yourself. You were over there letting everyone know, right? You were even, come on. It was supposed to be summer's visual, Christmas visual that you guys were putting out. And you were looking like you needed a room. Instead, you met up because of evilness, not for righteousness, but evilness. You were drinking, you were vaping, you had another child in the mix of all of this. You guys were humping. It was disgusting. Right down disgusting. And don't act like anyone, that we brought that out. No, you guys brought that out yourselves, right? We all had to fucking endure it. But you brought it out yourself. So just stop. Stop lying. That's what I got to say to you. Stop it. You owe me an apology. I did not bring your shit out. You guys brought it over here on my channel. And matter of fact, I took it behind the scenes. Because your husband, who you were cheating on, was really having some issues. And yes, I will help anybody, anyone needing help. When people are in a dark place, if I can pull them into the light, I will do that. I will do that because that's what God put us here for. And I will not be ridiculed for doing such. I will not be ridiculed for doing righteousness. Absolutely not. No, I won't. Now, she can sit over there and run them hog jaws as hard and fast and ugly as she wants to. But we are all here and we all know the truth. We all know the truth about you. Your guys' channel is ungodly and disgusting. You had a man up on your channel you was trying to send over here, right? Last night. Yeah, I get wind of everything. She has some creepy weirdo. I think it was Chillbilly. I really believe it was Chillbilly with a voice changer, if you ask me. Up on her panel. And she's trying to send him over here. Right? Like somebody's going to be afraid of that. I'm going to tell you something. Don't hunt me, motherfucker. You'll become the hunted. You don't know me. You do not know me at all. It would shock you to know what you're talking with. So tell your boyfriend with this voice changer, stick it up his ass. Right? Because it all took 2 seconds to catch on to what that was going down over there, right? I'm not that fucking ignorant. But then Daisy asked us, do you like big women? Well, Jinkies, I noticed your boyfriend didn't answer. Right? He didn't answer. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I really did. I did. But what I'm saying is, no, I'm not going to pray for people like that. I ain't going to pray for nobody with that ugly and evil of a soul. They lost anyway. They done lost. Right? They done lost. They can go stick that shit up their craw. I ain't even dealing with it. I ain't being mean, I'm being real. I am being real. I don't even think we're supposed to suffer those kind of people to live, to be honest with you. Let alone pray for them. So forget about it. At least I'm honest. I'm honest. Right? I'm honest. I hate to exclude them, right? Because now I have to say, dear Lord, I don't know what people want. Right? But you do. And I hope you answer all their prayers, except for Daisies and Jinkies, in the name of Jesus. Amen. Right? Because they just mean. They just mean. And how can I be expected to pray for people that cruel? I can't. I done nothing to deserve their ugliness. I done nothing to deserve their ugliness from day one. I done nothing to deserve Daisy coming over here and being a foe instead of a friend to build her channel off my back. I done nothing to deserve her turning on me, not once, but twice. First time I let it go. The second time I had to address it, right? Because she was just getting worse. And she admits she did go at me. And then, she supports the two suspects instead of Summer. She admits that, she didn't want to really get into true crime and she ain't about these missing children. She's just about making money for her, bank account in her pockets. And she'll do whatever she has to do to get it. Even if it means, turning on Summer's back to get it done, or any other missing child. She'll do that. Well, I don't think that's godly. And then in the mix of it all, try to beat down the very creator that is 150% for this child. To try to beat down the channel that has supported this child from day one, through thick and thin, hell or high water, has been here, keeping Summer in the spotlight, doing everything we can to get this case solved. Well, she sits over there and just runs off her mouth about who knows what, and has other people talking out of their heads, so you really can't hear nothing. And then she wants to beat down us. And to the point that she even said that I should take Summer's channel down because that's what Don and Candace wants. Well, excuse me, we don't give a fuck what Don and Candace wants, okay? We want Don and Candace to tell where Summer's at and bring her home so we can get justice for her, right? We want them to confess and let the bracelets go on their wrist. But we ain't getting what we want, so you know what? They're not going to get what they want either, Miss Daisy. How about that? How about that? There you go. Tell them when we get what we want, they'll get what they want. Because then we won't have to be here no more. Right? There you go. There you go. Problem solved. That's what I got to say. But as for her sister's extramarital affairs, they brought all that shit over here. We didn't go looking for it. They brought it to us, right? And she came in here running her sut, her and her old man going at it in the chat, right? Putting all their business out there. So don't blame that on me. Actually, she owes me an apology. And she sat over there and said bad things like, somebody wanted her old man. No, sorry to tell you, Jinkies, nobody wants nothing that you've been with. Nothing. Nothing. You got me bent. I couldn't get over the fact that they've been with you. That'd be enough to run me off. But even more so, that motherfucking Chillbilly looks like he could stand his pants up in a corner and they wouldn't move. For real. They're that dirty. They would stand up by themselves. So, no thanks. I don't go with people who have some serious fucking problems, especially coming up on your panel, half man, half woman, with a voice changer, talking weird. That's scary shit right there on Jinkies. That's absolutely just freaky as hell. And when you guys want to role play, why don't you keep it in your bedroom instead of bringing it out on your channel? Do you like heavy women? Do you like women or men? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. They're running Sodom and Gomorrah. People that go over there and listen to that kind of trash, I'm going to tell you right now, they are definitely the people that was, that the Lord destroyed. I promise you. That is what God destroys. They have no morals. None at all. That's trashy. That's not classy. It's trashy. I'm just saying. I don't go in there. I am not going to have my ears or my eyes offended by their garbage channel. I'm sorry. No. I got better things to do with my life and my time than that. And I'm going to tell you something, Daisy, Jinkies. The men I date and see, they wouldn't give you the fucking time of day. They wouldn't give you the time of day. Trust that and believe that. Not even the time of day. I know, because I showed them your pictures. Right. I showed them your pictures. You guys just disgusting. Disgusting. But that might be how you have to be when you when you look, act, and think like they do. That must be just how it has to be. I don't know. Them women over there, they are like, who will have me, not who will I have, right? It's who will have me, not who will I have. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. They even admitted They even admitted that they had to attack. They had to attack Ernie while he was passed out, drunk. They had to attack him while he's passed out drunk and ripped his clothes off and trying to get him some. That's probably why his shit's crooked, right? That's probably why it was. They were hanging on and fighting over it. I mean, come on. You really have to lower your standards to that? Right? He said he vaguely remembered it. Vaguely. Yeah, one of my mods was in there. One of my mods were in there. Yeah. And my mod, got it back to me that this guy was passed out and they took full advantage of him. That's the only way they can get a piece of ass. What the hell? What the hell? Hun, it's the other way around with most of us women. Usually it's the guy. Usually guy trying to get our shit off, right? He's trying to get us. We sure the hell ain't trying to get him. Just saying. Just saying. Wow. If I had to go through all that work to get something, I wouldn't want it. Right? I just wouldn't want it. Poor Ernie, man. No wonder he has issues. My God. That's like psychological damage for life. Right? That's disgusting. I feel sorry for the guy. I actually feel sorry for him. What a sight that must have been. He had like a whole fucking bakery in the room, right? It was freaking, he had to be tossing rolls all over the place. That was gross. That is gross. Wow. Yeah, well, that's just a little extra story, I decided to put out here tonight. And reason why I don't think they deserve any prayers. Ernie deserves all the prayers. And Ernie, I'm praying for you, buddy. I hope you one day are able to overcome that fucking vision, what little bit you had of it. Thank God for alcohol, right? Thank God for alcohol. Very traumatizing. So, I'm going to play Summer's song out of here. Like I said, everybody, as you say your prayers, please say a few for Summer. Please say some for her. I know you are. I know you are. How could you not be? How could you not be? I think we all are praying with everything we got for this little girl, and we need to keep praying. But we need to pray for one another as well. Right? Let us pray for one another. Keep Sweet Norway in your prayers also. She's needing them. And there's a lot of other people that's needing prayers, right? I don't think anybody could not use prayers. We all could use prayers. I know I can. I mean, I absolutely know I could use some prayers just to get this visual of Ernie out of my head, if nothing else, being attacked by that. Whoa. Traumatized me now. Anyway, I'm going to play Summer's song out of here. I'm going to say good night. Much love. God bless. And I appreciate you all supporting Summer's channel. Absolutely. Good night, everybody.